right, let's do it live on a Monday edition of Cleveland Browns Daily. Merely Beau and the Great Z. God, I love seeing you. You just put a smile on my face. You
Same,
just did a
dude.
funny little rap
Yeah.
thing that was good off the headset. I like that.
course.
That puts
Got
me in a
to.
good mood. I like that. I enjoyed that a great deal. I enjoyed this weekend a great deal. What a time to be alive.
It was a wonderful weekend.
Just suns out, guns out, away we go.
Just enjoyed it. And then we got a little overnight rain, and it's already
Now it looks great.
looks great. I think I might chase the ball around this afternoon. Why not?
I don't see why not. I don't think I will be, but I'll live vicariously through you.
Well,
That
thank
you'll
you.
be living a great life out there doing it. Do you have a nice weekend? Everything went according to plan. Did you have a good time with it?
Yeah, it was wonderful. We had the kids all weekend, and we even babysat some more dogs. So we had 3 dogs in the house, and
How'd that go?
much better than I would have thought.
What are the sizes of these canines?
Small and medium, large. Nothing huge.
So Asa would be small.
Was the smallest, and there was like a little bit bigger than Asa, but not yet a medium-sized dog, and then a full-on
2
like,
purse
normal
dogs
dog.
and then a dog.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the dog, how did the normal dog take it? Was he the alpha?
No,
Asa the
Asa's
alpha?
the alpha. Yeah.
It's her house.
And it was her house, and she was just, she had a couple of puppy crazies where she did a lot of sprinting around, but then the other dog, which was a puppy, was very into it. The biggest dog is the eldest dog, and so it's pretty chill. Just want to, like, chill and, like, look out the windows and sit outside. Very easy.
That's a piece of cake.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Dogs, no matter their size, can be alphas even amongst bigger dogs. Like, it's if they don't look in a mirror.
No, Asa's a 100% alpha.
Yeah.
100%.
I buy that completely and would have no ability. Like, for example, if a Mastiff came in the house, would probably still try to boss that.
Oh, yeah.
Even though the Mastiff could
Just squash like grapes. No, but it was awesome. We took them for a walk in the park. We had one night that we got to have just a date with Boods, me and Kayla, Miss K and Boods, and we went out to one of Gibbe's old stomping grounds. I'd heard so much about Pickle Bill's. I'd never actually been there. And it's way out in, where is it, Gibbe? Like Mentor?
Yeah, it's Mentor on the Lake, 44, off of 44.
Yeah.
Grand River.
And so it's a place that
I've never
I heard
even
about
heard of
where
this.
you can get like
a lobster house. Pickle Bill's Lobster
all you
House.
can
Is
eat
this the
crab
place?
for like $70. All you can eat prime rib for $45, which I would have loved to have tried. But we
all
just went
you
there.
can eat year round.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah. It's a scene. I mean, and the place is cool. You walk in, they have all these crazy like artifacts all around. But we went and sat up top on their rooftop bar, had a little cocktail, and then got dinner, and then we picked Arden up after her party, and then yeah, it really was a very nice weekend, and really for me it was like a second weekend because of I had taken the Thursday off. I mean, I had 2 Saturdays, 2 Friday nights the week. I mean, it was great.
You aced it. I think you crushed absolutely all of that.
Thank you.
And Gibbe, how you had some
He's running on
festivities?
fumes. He's running on fumes. He
I am
hasn't
tired.
slept in months.
I'm a little sleepy. My
The next
clock
level is next.
Yeah, my clock is not. I cannot do. We were up 24 straight hours.
I can't believe you did this.
I literally.
You're a man. You're 40. Like who could do that?
Well,
'Cause
but
it's Gibbe. Who else?
But it wasn't like it was work. Like
Well,
Friday night, I got to the school at 5:30. I was already like an hour late, according to my wife. I'm like, I have a job.
Mrs. Gibbe not having it.
I have rookie minicamp going on.
How dare you not be
We're
on
a little
time.
busy. So I get there. We were there till 11 o'clock setting up post-prom. A fantastic job by the post-prom committee and teachers, like everybody that was involved in prom weekend at Olmsted Falls. Shout out. And to shout out to anybody that is on these committees all over the city that has to do this. I am done. I am not sorry that I'm done with all of it. It was.
That's it.
I got up at 8 a.m. Like we had. There was someone at our house at 10 a.m. like doing makeup. There was photos at like multiple locations.
Sure.
For like 2 or 3 hours. I mean, this is insanity at its finest.
Yeah.
And it's for prom. It's not a wedding.
Yeah, that's right.
I keep reminding people, and my wife's like, "Stop saying that. This is her day." I was like, I'm aware.
Her day? That's the wedding. Prom is not her day.
Oh,
it's her night.
It is her. It is. That's where I'm like,
it's prom.
It is insanity. The amount of things that go down. So we do that. We go to the Grand March. We got the Grand March going on, and then you gotta put the finishing touches on. Do prom. Then I Made a few phone calls, did a few things, opened up a back room at a bar, and
yes.
What a couple drinks
you
turned
didn't
into
have
4
to-
hours of cocktailing.
You didn't have to.
I
Have
could have
a
been
24-hour
responsible.
No.
You
could have called it a day
we
at
were
4:30.
done at 4:30 in the morning. I
Yeah.
could have been done.
Yeah.
Eh,
Not.
No.
Why are you on the hook for cleaning up after the prom?
No, the after prom. It is the after prom.
Okay,
committee.
but why are you on that? Why are you having to do that work?
We're on that forever.
The great Zags.
If you're on the prom committee,
Stride.
yeah,
Stride.
boy,
That's part of it?
yeah.
Wow.
So literally, you have to the school doesn't look like the school. Like there's a full-on casino that was brought in.
Wow.
Jeez Louise.
I mean, it is a massive undertaking, and within 2 hours of the event ending, it needs to look like a school again.
Yeah,
So
okay, but
you've
then
got-
that falls on the adults?
Yeah,
Okay. How'd 80? 80 do a good time?
I think she had a fine time. She's currently the thing now is they all go get like Airbnbs, so she's somewhere
yeah,
living
dude.
her
He
best
said that
life.
to me, and I was waiting to.
What?
I knew this was going to come out on the air. Yeah.
What?
Exactly.
She's
They go get Airbnbs.
Yep.
Like, could you imagine? Like,
No.
hey, Dad, I'm getting an Air. Me and a couple of the crew are getting an Airbnb for the weekend. We'll see you
See ya
down
on
around
Monday.
the road.
I
Yeah.
thought-
Wait, what?
I thought they were going to someone's lake house. No, it's an Airbnb. I looked at
Has
my
the world
wife.
changed that much?
I looked at my wife and I was like,
I mean, it was 25 years
okay.
ago that I was 18.
I guess it's a long time.
It's a quarter of a century.
It is. Yeah. We're closer to dead than alive. I don't know.
I don't know
think
about that.
I'm like,
right in the middle. I don't know.
is
Yeah,
today
I-
a senior skip
Wow,
day? Because
that's
I'm fairly
incredible.
confident there's still school today.
Like-
Airbnb. I can't even imagine.
Like, do you
selling
vet
that
out
on-
who's going to be in that
Yeah.
Airbnb? Have
Is
you
there
run
no
it through
par-
Give
is
A
there-
Security?
there
yes.
must be a parent
Yeah.
there, right? Like there must be
Yes.
a parent there.
There is some parental supervision because parents had to sign off on it.
Well, signing off on it and physically being there are
No,
two
no.
very
There,
different
there
things.
there is adults on site.
All right.
It wasn't going to be
Define
me.
adults.
It wasn't going to be me. I know
Wow.
that.
All right, let's talk about something
Everybody
much more
else would have
wholesome.
been in bed at 10 o'clock at night.
Let's talk about something wholesome. Let's talk about Kingsley.
Kingsley had a day. He had a great day.
I mean, in that up blue
Suited.
suit, he looked just
Yeah, inspired
debonair.
by you. You have a gorgeous blue suit that I see you in from time to time. I think
That's
you-
right.
even when we had all the suits in here and I emceed the new face, I believe you were in that gorgeous blue suit.
I was.
Yeah, with a nice chocolate tie. Yeah, he had a good one. It was a good day for him. The first communion went well. He had a lacrosse game that afternoon against Chagrin Falls where he put the beat down. He scored the first goal. Bootsy banged 2 goals in.
playing up.
Playing up against ones. He banged in 2 goals and actually got called up to play against second graders because it was so lopsided against the poor kids from Chagrin Falls. So that was fun. I will say that something new is happening with the first communions that I hadn't seen before. So we had about 40 kids. So that's a full day.
Yeah.
And something that I'd never seen before was the entire church taking communion. Typically in the first, like when Black Cobra did this 2 years ago, just the kids did the first communion on the Saturday, and then you get your communion Sunday.
Yeah.
So that'll go.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now apparently everyone's trying to there's all these people trying to knock out 2 birds with 1 stone. Give me my communion on the same day so I don't have to go to church on Sunday. That's the best I can guess. So all of a sudden, not only did all the kids do communion, but everybody in attendance did first communion. So it took probably, the whole thing was probably an hour and 15 minutes. And the last half hour was just
Communion.
handing people bread.
Yeah, have a little bit.
Over and over. And I was like, jeez. And then we get through I got to say, a little bit of brevity. A little bit of brevity doesn't hurt anybody.
The dude.
We're at an hour and 5 into this, and we're still feeding bread, and then it's 10 more minutes, and okay, everyone's had bread. All right, let's go. So it comes time. Let's call it a day, and the kid walks down with the cross. I'm thinking, oh God, we can get out of here. Thank goodness, we're done. Bootsy was washed.
I'm sure.
He was at the point where he was just he was a good boy. He didn't make any noise, but he was just literally rolling on pews. He was just past the point. He was past his sell date, and somehow survived. So cross goes down. Okay, it's a wrap. Let's do some pictures. Let's get out of here. Let's go get a brunch. No, the man of the cloth decides a few more lessons I'd like to share.
To impart some wisdom on you young folk.
A little bit of wisdom. And let's talk a little bit about the journey and how it's incumbent upon you parents to continue. Listen, brother, I've been here for,
I've been ushering for
it's 85
over an
minutes.
hour. Yeah.
I'm 85 minutes in, brother.
Yeah. I've done it.
I've stood, I've knelt. I've stood, I've knelt. I've done it. Okay. Call it a day, man.
When you guys did get out, where did you have this delightful brunch?
Went to the club, had a little brunch.
Nice.
Kingsley's choice of menu. So he wanted pancakes, bacon, and eggs. And then there was a salad station, and then he wanted macaroni and cheese and chicken piccata. So that was his.
That was the
eclectic
nice
spread.
little,
that was on the menu for everybody.
There's some fruit,
Yeah.
some sticky buns and such, and so that was
Yeah.
That was
Over
how it
under
went.
sticky buns at 3 for
Oh.
Bootsy. Because
Several.
at this
I
point,
mean,
there's
he's-
grandparents around.
Well, what was worse than that is, here, I just want your live reaction to this. This is what I caught him in the act of. So,
The best is I caught him in the act of.
It's just so happy. Look at him.
go back one.
What is that? He's trying to hide it from you behind those flowers?
So there's cake,
yeah.
right? Everybody has the cake,
Which he's eating. His
which
plate
he's
is clean.
crushing it, right? And so I said, well, you can have cake or ice cream. You're not having both. Or you can have a small piece of cake and a little bit of ice cream, but not both. Like, it's too much.
I believe he said.
Oh,
to the
really,
contrary.
Dad?
I'll see you.
I'll
or
see you.
I will have
and
both.
raise you.
I will have both of them, and
Yeah.
I will love it.
Yeah. So full hunk of cake, and I'm, shaking hands, thanking people who were great, and then the kid snuck, and I caught him on camera getting a chalice of.
Oh no, that
chocolate.
is it's a
Chocolate
beautiful
ice cream.
thing. Oh, by the way, I left out one thing also that happened over the weekend. We
Yeah.
had so behind like our living room window, there's a big window in the living room. There were two kind of trees flanking it, and one of
Okay.
them one of them looks pretty good. The other one is not looking good. And
Okay.
it's interfering with the view, and it's just Miss K decided she wanted it out. Like,
Okay.
done. So
How big? Like, let me paint the picture for me on the size of this tree.
at least 25 feet tall,
Oh, it's a substantial tree.
but like not hugely thick.
No,
Like, it's probably
Yeah, but that's still, you're not cutting it down.
no.
Yeah.
No, I'm not.
No, you're not.
So her dad had been over the weekend before. I guess maybe it was for Mother's Day when we were talking about this. Yeah, that makes sense. Mother's Day. And so we chopped a lot of the branches off. I had like clippers and I took a lot of the branches. So it looked like a Georgia pine where it was the
Oh,
pine didn't start
sure.
until about 10, 15 feet up. So that now the view was unobstructed. But nonetheless, we knew it had to come out. So on Saturday, right after the rain had come through, her dad comes over with a chainsaw.
Good man.
Okay.
I like where
He's
this is
fell
going
a tree
already.
before.
Yeah. So we're looking at it. And I mean, like I said, it's a fairly big tree. Like if it fell onto the deck, I feel like it would have caused a lot of damage. If it fell back in the house, it was so close to the house that it really couldn't fall back into the house per
Yeah.
se. So he starts going and he goes, okay, now push it. And so I pushed it away from the house and that where the kind of the angle we had decided would be okay. Well, there was this other little tree that was kind of split like this. It was just a small flowering tree, maybe 10 feet tall, but kind of just two main components. This big bad boy came down right in the middle, just
Severed
snapped that thing off like it was nothing. And so then he was out and we like kind of chainsawed it into like 4 mandrel pieces, and I was doing like Khyber log tosses like Scotland and throwing them into our little woods there, the big log. So it was great fun.
That's
I'd never been a
fantastic.
part of such a Wilderman activity before, and
Yeah.
I really had a great
What
time.
you need is the ropes on the bottom of it so you can pull as it's being.
I was a
chainsawed.
human rope. I pushed.
Yeah, but like,
It was a great success, Gibbe.
Yeah.
you sure you killed another tree?
Miss K was very sad about that part, but it was really, that was the only angle that it could go. Like it had to go
There's
there.
nowhere else.
That's
for
where
it
it
to
needed to go.
Yeah, it's a.
Otherwise, it could
casualty.
have landed on a fence. Like it was we had probably like a, maybe a 10-degree area.
Yeah,
that we
you gotta
needed to
land
go
the
into,
plane.
but we landed it. It was landed.
Wow.
So that was fun. That was another.
What is
big
this
thing.
at the end? You'll have a moment on Friday you'll never forget.
That's right. So I called you to try to tell
Do
you
share.
about it.
Well,
and
Dad,
you're
Uncle,
busy. Yeah,
I
no.
really wasn't on the phone all
You're-
weekend. I
you're
didn't have it
quite
on
busy.
me. I had, we had a lot going on, and I was, so I just didn't have it on me as much as I normally do.
No, respect. Be present. Be where your feet are. I'm sure maybe that was part of the wisdom that was being shared with you. And you're like, listen, I already got that. I'm on
I'll
it.
be honest. I tuned the dude out like 10 minutes in.
I'm on it. All right.
It's enough.
So I want to take you back. Okay. to night 1 of the NFL draft.
Night 2.
It was night 1.
Oh.
I'm still in my suit in the video, so it was night 1. At the conclusion of that night,
Okay.
Paul Taylor,
Yep.
the director of content production here for the Cleveland Browns, very accomplished
PT.
man. Fine man.
Yep. Thorough.
Comes in that night wearing the hoodie.
That's right.
And he shakes everybody's hand. And
Great job out of you.
I was like,
Well, that's a coveted.
oh my God. But like,
Happy.
happy for him, sad for me.
Percentages.
Initially,
Yeah.
probably like, and we're going to, when we go to commercial,
Jesus is watching.
you and I are going to watch a video because this was all a ruse just to get me. So we will watch a video.
The hell it was.
The hell it was. It was, in fact. So we will watch a video of my reaction. You can tell me what you think. What everybody who's watched said is like, dude, you're actually like a really nice guy because you could see like the pain in you and you were like still happy for him. And
were you in on it?
Yes. Hold on. But nobody tells me, which is the weirdest part of the whole prank. I'm fully pranked. I'm here on Friday thinking that, you know, by the way, Paul has this sweater. As I told Paul, the hoodie, as I told Paul, I said on the way home, like, I made peace with it. I was just like, you know what? Like, Paul does a lot of stuff. He's a great dude. Like, I love PT. Like,
Gosh.
I've made peace with it. Like, I want it.
Right.
I wish it was me.
Yeah.
But I'm
I get
happy
it.
for PT.
I get
And
it.
I like
Yeah.
it. I made peace with it.
Yeah.
That's exactly the phrase I used. So on Friday, at the end of our show, I go out to watch some rookie minicamp. And I'm walking with Paul. And he and I were talking about something. And I said to him, oh, you need to, like, talk to coach or something. I'm like, dude, you should talk to coach. Like, he obviously loves you. Like, he gave you the hoodie. Like,
Yeah.
you're in good with him, so you talk to him about it. And he just, like, no-sells it like it's nothing. Okay? So between this time that this happened, everybody knows about it, but then nobody tells me about it. So you're like
2 weeks.
But you don't even get, so, like, that's what I don't get. You don't even get the
You don't get
satisfaction
the
of the
payoff.
joke.
Yeah, the payoff. Yeah.
Well, they did get it, turns out, because my reaction on Friday was completely dumbfounded. So I'm walking with Paul. I mentioned the hoodie to PT again. He just like no sells it as if like, yeah, of course I've got the hoodie.
Yeah.
So I go down to the field and I see Brad, and you know Brad and I now were Mr. Melland, equipment manager of the year, the guy who can pass out the hoodies. He's in charge of. He's a vessel for the head coach in distributing the coveted hoodie. And you guys know, everybody's listening to the show knows it. I mean, I've been on this quest for quite some time.
We've been on it since, I mean, honestly, the first time we saw Coach in it.
We've been on the quest.
We've been on it since Coach first showed up in it and went,
I'd like that.
That's an attention getter.
And whereas when we said that about the quarter zips and they showed up the next day. Not. This quest is ongoing. Sacrifices have been made. Awards have been created to try to curry favor.
Yes.
And all of this. So I go out and I see Brad, and now because Brad and I are in a feud, it's been documented on the show.
Documented feud.
I turn my back to him. He says, well, we're not feud. Well, I am.
Yep.
And so now we do this thing where we point, you know, we're not hurt here. We're not hurt over here. We're hurt right here, right in the heart.
That's right.
And I walk out on the field, and we're having this talk, and he goes, I was telling to him, I said, did you love it when I turned like my back on you that day?
Yeah.
And he goes, yeah. He goes, that was pretty funny. He said, but not as funny as the way that I got you. And he goes, and they've even sent me the video. And I'm like,
again?
Huh? I was like, what did you just say? What do you mean you got me?
He's diabolical.
And he goes, oh yeah, Paul doesn't have a hoodie. I'm like, what do you mean he doesn't have a hoodie? I saw him with it. I just talked to him about it. I'm like, what do you mean he doesn't have a hoodie? He goes, oh yeah, it's just a prank to piss you off, to get your goat. I said, gotten. You got me. You got me good. I mean, I think you should text Brad now and have him come on the show, because I was like, I have a whole newfound respect for you because you absolutely got it. So he was down there.
This is the Lannisters send their regards.
Yeah. He's down there on the draft night and gives Paul the sweatshirt, was like, hey, like, go wear this up around Zegura and just like gloat in his face that you've got this. And he came up with a believable thing. And thanks in part to Gibbe. Gibbe, you played a role there.
Well, Paul had a plan.
Of course, you were a willing accomplice.
And Paul walks in with Rob Conroy Conroy's going to videotape it. Their story wasn't believable enough. I helped them work on the story.
Oh, my God.
We rehearsed it in here. I said, don't you laugh, because if you laugh and give it away, I'm going to make sure you
So we
never
have
get
this.
the
I have
video.
like 2 minutes of footage to show you that is
And
in real time, everything, all of the
I
emotions.
said, you're going to start with Ken Carmen. Or, no, you're going to start with Gerard and thank him. You're going to start with – then you're going to go to Ken. And the last person that you're going to see is going to see you in that sweatshirt, and that's Nathan.
Yeah, and so he says, like, look, we've been doing a bunch of – I ran into Coach downstairs when I was talking to Brad about something, and he said that, Coach thanked us for all the work we have done for him. And the content team had done a lot of work for Coach, and they do kind of get, recruit some undrafted free agents, things like that. So it was believable. And I was just like, man, like, I've been trying. And the funny thing is, and after I found out, like, immediately I go to him. He's laughing his butt off. Paul's dying. Grob's got the video saved in like a file. Like they've all thoroughly enjoyed it. Everybody was in on it, which good. But I said, you need the payoff. And they're like, well, we're getting it right now. Cause like, it was like that. My brain fell out of the back of my head. I couldn't even comprehend that this was a real scenario. And yet it was. And that's what I was calling to tell you I was like, I got a crazy story for you. That's what I was calling to tell you. Like this prank, I didn't find out for 2 weeks. 2 weeks after the draft is when I found out. And it happened that night. I've been believing the whole time. I'd made peace with it. But it's not even real. So it kind of makes me feel like we're back. But then I was telling Miss K, I was like, I actually kind of feel bad for PT because I thought he had it. And then now he doesn't. And he was used as a pawn, which means, like, I don't know where that puts him on the totem pole, but maybe that helps him because he did an unbelievable job. But I was, dude, devastated. But now I feel like I'm kind of back in the game.
It's such a diabolical play by Mellon. I mean, it's an unbelievable
electric
play.
Electric.
To have that many layers to it, to wait on the payoff, to cause you turning your back, all of the things
that was all genuine,
all because of it,
and
then to 2 weeks later go, oh yeah, gotcha.
He thought I'd been doing all of this and talking about the feud and turning my back because I knew that he had pranked me.
Oh, he wasn't in on that part of it.
No,
he wasn't aware that it wasn't known.
No.
Well, that takes a little off of it. If it would have been something else, if he would have knowingly kept it quiet for 2 weeks.
Well, it was knowingly kept quiet until he said it to me out there like nonchalantly.
It was one of those. It happened at the end of night one. Everybody
like after midnight.
I forgot about it. I forgot that it happened. To be honest with you, I totally forgot that.
I didn't. He didn't. Go listen to the show from the next morning.
No, of course not. We've talked about it several times since.
Well,
the only part
I was going to let you go on that.
The only part in the watching of the video, there was one part where you could tell I was mad. I was like, well, I want the orange one now. And then he's like, you're going to get picky? And I'm like, all right, no, that's the best one. Like, you're right.
Give me the black. You want the black.
Of course I do.
The black's the one. Of course I realize the others coveted, but.
And like Carmen, you watch it, Carmen's like, he doesn't get it. He's like, what's the big, I don't get it. He's like, make your own. I'm like, dude, you don't get it.
You don't understand.
He's like, it's not like it's the green jacket. I go, well, it is here.
It is here.
It is here. So how.
That's unbelievable.
Like. It's incredible. It's an incredible job by Mellon.
It is. And I would say that now I feel like you'll never have it.
I don't know.
Now I think it's been done. Unless Stefanski somehow gets no news, some sort of catches wind of all this.
I think it's possible, like, to pull that kind of a prank and then to never, ever give it to me, I feel like feels really hurtful. I feel like I have a better chance than I did before the prank was revealed. I mean, he immediately gave me the bucket.
Yeah, that's
true. Which was like, yeah, dude,
nice.
I got you pretty good. And the bucket's outrageous.
The bucket is outrageous. The people are going to like that a lot. Unbelievable. Josina Anderson, CBS Sports, reporting that Deshaun Watson taking his Browns teammates to the Bahamas. Watson has secured a field for the players to use for the workouts. The entire trip will be focused on team building ahead of the 2022 season. That's got to be at Ocean Club, right? Or do they rent a house?
No, I would imagine they're going to I think they're going to have a private residence. There are
how many guys are going though? Like you might need accommodations.
Could get a couple of them, but you could get. There's a bunch of private residences all around the Ocean Club.
Yeah, they're going to be somewhere.
Or they get villas, like a block of the villas at the Ocean Club. Yeah,
you'd want to be somewhere on Paradise Island, I would think, is how that would go. And now's a good time to go down there.
Who knows?
Not that he's worried about budget, but like now's a good time to go. There's not a lot of people down there right now. That's good though.
What's clear is, and you go back to when Denzel Ward mentioned this when he signed his contract, that they wanted to really focus on camaraderie and team building, and so that Miles would be doing something with the defense, Deshaun's doing this with the offense, and I think That's a good thing. I think a lot of that at the end of the season last year, I heard a lot of commentary that we just weren't as close as we should have been. And I think COVID had a role in that. Struggles had a role in that. So I think they're trying to really establish that and build that, which I think is very cool.
Well, I think the Odell stuff through the end, and then with the Baker stuff that Jake chronicled, I mean, I think that allows for everything that happened at the end, and this is the mending of all of that, I would say.
Sure.
So that's pretty good. We did have rookie mini camp underway. Felix Harper, a quarterback out of Alcorn State, listed at 5'10", 180, a native of Fairburn, Georgia. And so he was added to the roster, my guess, as a rookie mini camp slinger.
5'10", 180 feels very generous, but I'll tell you what, this kid can absolutely throw the football. And
does he really?
Significant.
Spin it.
Listen, they signed him. You know who else was here? It was Jake Fromm.
Yeah.
Drafted, been in the league, big-time college quarterback. And they signed him and not Jake Fromm coming out of this.
Yeah, I think if you watch college football, that like the Fromm stuff was – I mean, they kept Fromm over Fields at Georgia.
Which is wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
there was a ceiling there for sure. But
yeah, that's cool. So that's good. So he's in the mix. Any other impressions for you from rookie minicamp? It's hard. I mean, it's
very hard. And they do – it's so much less than it used to be. You know, I was thinking, Gibbe I was talking with one of the coaches about this. You know, back in the day, like in 2014, for example, which is when Taylor Gabriel came in here as an undrafted free agent tryout, not even undrafted free agent signing. He was a tryout. There was like one-on-ones with the corners and the receivers. They played a little bit of.
There was some 7-on-7 by Saturday.
Yeah, and he was dominant, and he earned himself a contract that led on to go into a great career. There was none of that. So they're bringing him along very slowly. So it's more you're just kind of looking at and seeing what traits you can see. I know that there were guys that stood out and people were pleased, especially with a lot of the draft picks. You know, Dave Bell's exactly what they thought he was going to be. I dropped my Anquan Bolden kind of demeanor and style on some people that I would say would be in the know, and they received it very favorably.
I like that. That's exciting.
Yeah, very happy.
All right. Coming up next, you will hear from Coach Stefanski on Rookie Minicamp. We'll have a little fun. We'll revisit the schedule a little bit. A lot of news in the NFL. Great sports weekend as well, although yesterday was a dog on the NBA side of things. But we'll touch on all of that over the next 90 minutes, and I'll look forward to watching this video coming up next. We're off and running here. Cleveland Browns Daily, 850 ESPN Cleveland. Whether you're buying or selling a home with Howard Hanna Real Estate Services, always a winning strategy. If you plan to make a move this season, they're going to have you covered at Howard Hanna. Every day is game day. Visit howardhanna.com/GoBrowns today. And here's our head coach, Kevin Stefanski, addressing the media during rookie minicamp.
Okay, great.
All right, you're down 10 minutes.
Awesome to have these young guys on the field. Got some really good work in there with their coaches, offense, defense, special teams. They're working very hard. We're throwing a lot at them mentally. So they need to study, and they are studying. They're spending extra time in the morning, in the evening time, and they're doing a nice job in the classroom, weight room, and a couple more good days with them, and then we'll keep them here next week. If any questions you guys have, I'm ready to go. Not really, Jake. I mean, I think when you first get it, you always look to where's that bye week, how many back-to-backs, where are the division games, those type of things, but nothing in particular.
Do you feel better about when the bye week is going to be this year versus last year?
Yeah, I think there's value in the middle of the season. I really do. So it kind of worked out that way for us this season.
So now that you know it's Carolina, do you start working?
You do. Yeah, you do. And you start, that's an opponent we haven't played in the past couple of years, so got to get to know their coordinators, get to know their personnel, so that's something we're working on right now.
Hey, Kevin, what are your first impressions of Perry Winfrey?
He's done a nice job. I mean, this was obviously just a short practice out there, but he's got really good size, comes off the ball explosively. He's working very hard.
Coach, we told Cade York the conditions are usually just like this at the stadium for kicking. He was saying that you guys are well aware of how competitive he is.
Yeah.
And because of that, you've given him more space then to kind of work on his own during camp. Is that it? That you just want to get him the maximum amount of reps to get ready?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit, Tom, with a kicker, you're trying to maximize is a great word. You're trying to maximize every moment you have. You can't kick every day. You can't do that. So what are you doing on those off times? You're studying tape with the coaches. You're looking at what you can do better. You're working on your body, those type of things. But he's going to make sure every minute counts.
Coach, I saw you speaking in glowing terms about David Bell on the Building the Browns show, and it seemed like you may have been sort of a driving force or very instrumental in him being here. What do you think of David and that pick?
Well, I think organizationally we're very excited to add David. He was somebody that throughout the process, I know our coaches, our scouts, everybody was excited about him. So he did a nice job today. He doesn't say a lot. He's pretty reserved, but he's very intelligent. Did a nice job with what we gave him today, and I expect him to continue to take strides every day.
What was it about? A couple of roster questions. Dawson Deaton, you have him listed as guard. Will he be that?
Interior, guard center.
And Jake Prom, reasoning behind bringing him in.
Take a look at him. We brought two quarterbacks in, a rookie, and Jake obviously has played for a couple of years, so just take a look at him.
What was it about Bell's film that you looked at and said, yeah, I think he can fit well into my scheme?
Well, a very competitive player, catches the ball really well. We thought he had some savviness. So I think when you're looking at the draft, Scott, there's so many guys that can fit. You better have a lot of guys that can fit in your scheme. It's really what traits do you feel like you can exploit, so to speak. So we thought he was really competitive at the catch, has some versatility to play outside, inside.
Hey, Kevin, I know that you always want to get better all the time, everywhere. But
Thank you.
but did you really look at special teams, the kicking game, as something that you really have to make a jump on?
Yeah, I think Andrews every season tried to make some roster decisions to add good players, whether it's you're talking specialists or adding guys on your roster that you feel like can be core players. So I don't know that was different this year. Obviously, we went out and signed Corey and drafted Cade, so I understand we added to that room. But that's always going to be something that is front of mind for Andrew.
But even like the return game, do you look at that as?
I think it was more, the market and the availability of those players.
Question about Marcus Silva. The challenge of coming in here, making the conversion from basketball to football as a tight end. First, what did you like about him? What appealed to you? And just again, could you speak on the challenge and first impressions of him?
Yeah, I think with the tight end position, we've all seen it. You know, the guys that have transitioned from basketball into the pros, and the body type. First of all, you look at the frame and the ability to put weight on. Oftentimes those undersized fours who are in the 6'4" range and have a frame and/or are already in the 250 place. They typically have great ball skills, basketball players. So, you're thinking about them around the hoop. There's a hoop right there. But in and around the hoop, ability to snatch the ball, and then it's their ability to use their length. So some of the guys that you can think about, Tony Gonzalez and some of those guys using their length, body position, how to, when they enter the ball in the post, similar on a stick route, hey, you can stick your hands out and go grab it. So a lot of those things apply from basketball to tight end position. So we're always looking for guys that can maybe do that and give them a chance.
What is it about David Bell's skill set that makes you think he could be effective in the slot? Saw him working out there a lot today, and he was talking about it earlier.
Yeah, I think he has versatility outside, inside. But again, I do think he has a natural competitiveness both in route running and in route catching. So the ability to make contested catches and the ability in the route running game to set people up and drop your weight, those type of things.
When you talk about getting familiar with Carolina's coordinators, is that the project of a quality control guy, or what's that process?
Yeah, that's a good question, Tony. I think it starts with the quality control guys. You don't, in their role, you don't want to use up a lot of your time prior to knowing the opponents and breaking down a bunch of tape because, for instance, if you broke down a bunch of Carolina prior to the schedule release and they were the last game of the year, you just wasted a lot of time. So for them, they kind of wait for that schedule to come out, and then it's the first 3 opponents. You're really focused on getting the tape and getting some work done on them early. You'll have the preseason tape on them, but it certainly starts with your quality control to break it down. And then as a staff, once it's broken down, you can chop it up and look at it every which way.
In your 2 seasons here, you went 3-1 in your first 4 games, both times. Lost the first game. But overall, were you pleased about the way you brought the team along to the first month of the season?
Yeah, I think both years, the last couple of years were different. Obviously, the COVID year was different. Last year was a little different, off season, and then having a preseason. So we've learned things the last couple of years that we like, that we'll continue to do. There's a couple of things that we'd like to tweak, but ultimately we do feel like between the coaches, the strength coaches, the medical staff, I do think we're putting our guys in position to be ready to play week 1.
Wade has talked so much about working on the mental side of kicking. I guess what has stood out to you guys about him and the work he does with that aspect of his game?
Yeah, I think he's a naturally confident young man, which is great for that position. I do think that's something that all kickers, I'm sure, constantly are working on the mental side of things. Really, all players are, and it's something that we take seriously here. So I'm sure that he's had a plan, he's had a system, if you will, that he's gone through in his past, and I think you really want to stick to what works. But he's somebody that will constantly try to find edges anywhere he can.
Is it encouraging to hear that he's already talked to Phil Dawson about the stadium and the weather that he will face here?
Yeah, I think that's great. I think Phil's been an outstanding ambassador for our team and certainly our specialists. So to be able to connect with Phil and talk through First Energy Stadium is an important part of it.
Kevin Martin, Emerson, he's kind of known for that length.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just curious, what does that do for a corner to have the kind of length that he has? I mean,
Were you guys paying attention to the first drill? He put one of our coaches on his butt. Probably shouldn't have, but he's length with corners especially. It allows you to play at the line of scrimmage to really deter the release of the receiver. And as receivers, they want off. They want the ability to sell the go route and come off the ball. And when you have somebody like Martin, they're going to work at the line of scrimmage versus you. But even if they gain 6 inches, you have maybe 33 inches to go with your length to make them get around you, get you off your precision timing game.
Kevin, Mike sitting out there, what's going on?
Working through a lower leg injury, but he'll be okay.
Will all the draft picks stay on for next week?
Yes. Yes.
Back in 30.
Correct.
Kevin, there's a really good. Martins keeps telling us that he hasn't really talked about playing in the slot yet with any of your defensive staff. Are you guys like in the market for a slot corner after trading Troy Hill, or do you think you have the guys who can fill that role?
Oh, I think we have multiple guys that can fill that role and have filled that role in there. So I think that's why we talk about versatility. If you're playing corner, if you're playing safety, you're going to be trained to play in the slot, play our nickel position. So I think we have multiple guys that can do that.
You're up. Single game tickets for Browns home games on sale now. For more information, visit clevelandbrowns.com. We'll go around the league coming up next. You listen to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Bath Authority could give you the bathroom of your dreams. They can do it for you in about a day. Why not transform your current bathroom into a custom bath? It'll feel like a spa. Let the Bath Authority make it a reality for you at a fraction of the cost of the competitors. They have the largest selection of bath projects. They're all made in America. Change your bathroom from outdated to outstanding. Acrylic tubs, they will insulate and keep that heat in. Tub to shower conversion. Superior products with expert installers. Call now for $500 off your next custom bath or shower remodel. That number is 216-220-8399, or go to thebathauthority.com. Again, that's $500 right now. If you give them a call at 216-220-8399, tell them Beau sent you, and they will take care of you as we go around the league. What did you make of Sean Payton's weekend? I'm sorry, Drew Brees' weekend. Drew Brees' weekend. We'll get to Payton in a second. What did you make of Drew Brees' weekend?
I believe we had that he was
terrible at
brutal.
Television analysis.
Yes,
yeah.
Not long for that world.
Yeah. So it was reported on, for those who don't know, he was reported Saturday that he was out.
Yes.
At NBC, that he was going to be out.
Yeah.
So then he tweets yesterday, contrary to reports, I may come back to NBC. I may come back to football. I may become a professional pickleball player. I may join the senior PGA Tour. I may coach my kids. I may do all of these things.
Every single one. He also then tweeted out last night, right, that Jarvis and Honey Badger.
Yeah, almost make him want to come back.
Yeah. I think he's lost. I think he didn't expect that to be like a
You
flop.
think he's trying to save face?
Yeah.
Like, you think NBC cut ties with him after a year?
No doubt.
Wow.
Yeah. So that means wasn't he doing like Notre Dame?
He was doing Notre Dame,
so
and then he was
out?
on Football Night in America.
Out? So, and he did a playoff game that was a debacle.
Do you think it was
Bengals Raiders?
Do you think it was something where do you think that this just came out of the blue? This would be my thinking, to make them cut ties with him. I mean, he's just a legend. To cut ties in a year, if that's what happened. That is what happened. And they decided no. I would think that he saw the money that was being given to Aikman, Brady, Romo's already gotten it, that he saw that money and said, I'm going to need some of that. And they said, well, actually, we're good.
We're good.
Because I don't think that they would admit a mistake and fire him after 1 year based on who he is. I think they would keep the reins, give him keep it going. My hunch is he said, I want Brady money, and they said, well, good luck. That's my hunch.
From the story that I read last night said he wanted to do more games. He did not want to be in the studio and continue to be in the studio, and NBC was like, we have Chris Collinsworth.
Right. Yeah, he's not going anywhere.
There's nowhere. We don't have any other games. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have any more games. So you can do Notre Dame, but that's really all they have.
Yeah. Now they've got to replace their entire Notre Dame crew because Tirico and Brees.
The other Collinsworth's going to be on that. Just you watch.
No.
Chris Sims? Sims was doing like their pregame.
The other Collinsworth and Chris Sims.
Oh, my God.
No way, dude.
I think he went to Notre Dame, didn't he, the kid?
I don't know.
I believe
there's only one Collinsworth.
I agree, but I think he did. I think he went with him. He's getting the tryout at USFL.
Wow.
But that's my hunch. My hunch is Brees said, I want more. All my buddies who are contemporaries, there's no different from them to me, and I want more. And NBC said, no, we don't have any more. We have Chris Collinsworth. We're not going to pay you anymore.
Yeah, but it's not like he –
I did, right? Did he go to Notre Dame? That's what I thought.
Graduated.
Oh, so he's 5 years into the business. He's done 2 Olympics.
So what I would say to that is, though, that –
he's 27?
Yeah.
Yeah, 27. Born in 95. My freshman year.
So straight out of college, you went to NFL Primetime.
Rough.
Or that NFL Today show that he got that, and then right to NBC at 25. That's nice.
Yeah. Listen, Rodney Ayers is a big fan.
Huge fan.
I think Brees isn't good.
No, I know he's not.
I think that they were happy, but how quick was Joe Montana ushered out?
I don't remember that. I don't
remember. It was brief.
Was that?
It was a flop, and it was brief. He just was not good at it. And
no, I remember that. I just am trying to remember, like, did he get – his Wikipedia is going to be so damn long, it'll be forever for me to be able to see out.
It should be a very short paragraph in its own category, broadcasting career. Short, very tiny.
Would it be under personal life?
Maybe. or post football. If you
There
scroll,
isn't. It's just nicknames. All right, personal life. It's like it's not even on his Wikipedia.
Yeah, it didn't last long. And that's the thing for me with like Fox, is that are you sure that Brady isn't more Brees than he is Peyton Manning?
No, I'm not.
Because that's a long locked in contract, and I think Brees was it wasn't good. I found that what he's had to say too was odd, just a little odd to me. I think he's trying to make a joke, like, "Hey, these are all the things I could still be doing." But yeah, that was. Does he go back to the Saints? Does he try? I mean, he can't.
I think he's more likely to be a professional pickleball player than the Saints. I mean, he couldn't drive the ball.
Couldn't drive the ball at all.
And I remember talking to Laurinaitis about him. He would tell stories every once in a while about Brees for that half season he was there or whatever. And he said he's the most competitive guy. Like if he saw you throw your tape in the garbage in the locker room, he would want to do like a contest about it. Like if he saw you shooting hoops, he would come over and challenge you to shoot hoops in like a game of horse. Like that was his deal. Like he challenged everybody at everything.
I like that. I like a competitive guy.
Yeah.
Not afraid of
that. So
that
was his zest. So my guess is that's how this thing come to fruition, because why wouldn't this have been – this could have been known at any time. It comes out on a Saturday in May. This weird timing.
Timing's very weird.
Very strange. His former head coach, Sean Payton, joins Fox for the upcoming season. The former coach will work in the studio show in Fox throughout 2022. This is pretty interesting. So he will join the Fox NFL Sunday crew on the off days for Jimmy Johnson. Payton has also been in the running for the position with Amazon.
And it's expected to be a one-year deal.
Right, because Tom Brady's coming in next year, and he's going to go back to coaching.
Well,
but
Brady's
like,
with NBC.
Is studio.
This is studio at Fox.
I thought Brady signed with
no,
Fox.
Brady signed with Fox.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Brady. That's right.
Yeah.
Brady's NBC. Brees was Fox. Okay,
but Peyton's not going in the booth. Peyton, I don't get the Jimmy Johnson days off. I want to know more about that contract. When did we start?
Let's just do the math.
How many days a week do you actually work anyway?
Before he goes back and coaches. Which
give me your guess on how old Jimmy Johnson is.
72.
I was going to say 74, 75.
78. So he's got his house. He's got that place in Marathon. Like he's made all the money in the world. He's in the Hall of Fame now.
Yeah.
You know, it's been a good run.
It's weird for on his days off, Sean Payton to fill in, and I'm like, how many days a week does he actually work to begin with?
Yeah, I wonder what. Yeah, it's a good point. He's only flying in there on Saturday, and he's staying. They putting him up at the wherever, some sweet hotel.
Yeah,
probably that JW. Where's their studio out there? Are they in Burbank? Probably Fox NFL Sunday. Probably in Burbank. Yeah. So putting up at some great hotel, and he's out.
Great.
He's out on Monday morning, and that's it.
Yeah, because they don't have Thursday night football anymore.
Yeah. No. So there's there's nothing to see here.
I don't know. I think that's the biggest thing that occurred to me. He's going to be filling in for Jimmy Johnson on his days off.
And the rest of the time he's just going to be calling games?
I don't know.
Jimmy Johnson only being 5 years older than Terry Bradshaw is not something I would have had.
No.
I thought Bradshaw would have been
significantly.
Yeah. Jimmy's 5 years older than Terry. That's it. So those shows are they're the faces of networks, though. They're the faces to networks. Here's a name that we've seen about. We're seeing some of these older guys sign, and we'll get to obviously Jarvis here in a little bit. But Melvin Ingram signing with the Dolphins as well. So you are seeing some of these. Didn't Jerry Hughes sign last week with somewhere?
Yes, when you were out.
Houston, yeah. Mm-hmm. So you're starting to see some of these veteran players sign.
Listen, the bottom line, Ingram played great last year for the Chiefs. It's another nice addition for Miami. That's a team that's got a lot of talent. Huge question at quarterback, but if Tua impresses, they could be pretty good. Social media. By the way, you see their social media team was already hiring somebody after that video. They put out a job opening.
Did they really?
They did, yeah.
No surprise. I mean, it was unbelievable that it got through.
Yeah. But that's a team that's interesting. But from the Browns standpoint, Clowney is the last dude at defensive end.
Yeah.
That's it. So you're hoping, obviously, that he ends up coming here. I also saw some rumors over the weekend that the Browns were one of the finalists for the services of Ndamukong Suh.
Oh.
Now that's somebody I would love to interview. Dom can
Never missed a game.
A bad man.
You know that? Never missed a game.
We talked about it.
We talked about it last
Segura
week.
was living his best life.
Yeah.
On his
first Saturday.
First Saturday. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. So it feels like, Clowney, come on down. Let's go. Come home.
Come on.
Come home, sweet prince. Tickets for all Cleveland Browns home games on sale now. For more information, visit clevelandbrowns.com. Coming up at the top of the hour, officially no more Jarvis here. Sad for us, obviously, but happy for him. We'll get into that. Also rank some of the best games on the NFL schedule, on our schedule as well. And then Perry and Winfrey coming up a little bit later on. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Second hour here, Cleveland Browns Daily, 850 ESPN Cleveland. I want to tell you about my good friends at Indy East 4th. They're very excited about part of the great story of East 4th Street. Indy brings a music-themed atmosphere, Southern comfort cuisine, and craft cocktails to East 4th. Indy has a big one that happened just last week. Cleveland's rooftop bar located above Indy is open. It is the perfect place to celebrate downtown this summer. What a weekend for it. Brought to you by the owners of Char Whiskey Bar and Grill and Avo Modern Mexican. I encourage you to check it out. You will not be disappointed, nor will you be disappointed in any of their offerings. Learn more at Indy East 4th on social. If there was one, what did we say when we texted about Jarvis? If there was one place for him to go, that's it.
Yeah, and it's I'm very happy for him that he is going back home. Obviously, if I wanted him to finish his career with the Cleveland Browns in 4 seasons here, he played a massive role in changing this culture. And we'll never forget the speech that was featured on Hard Knocks. While he was here, he caught 288 passes, 3,560 yards, 15 touchdowns, 12.4 yards a catch. Jarvis Landry was very much the heart and soul of this team. We called them that many, many times. It's going to be a remade wide receiver room, and I know that the Browns are very excited about David Bell. But I'm happy for Jarvis that he gets to go back. I saw an interview with him, and I reached out to him as well, but I saw an interview with him talking about being a kid growing up in Louisiana, and your dream is to play at Louisiana State and then play for the New Orleans Saints.
Yep.
And he's going to do that, and I think that's a pretty special thing, and reunited the Honey Badger and LSU guy as well. I'm happy for him. I love that we get to see him, that he's on the schedule this year. He'll be coming back to Cleveland, so I'm excited about that. But I couldn't love Jarvis anymore. I think that, like I said, he embodied everything that this team, this organization is about. Sometimes, unfortunately, finances don't work out, and then situations change. And I think, for example, that the Browns had made him an offer prior to the draft. Maybe you wish he would have come back, but at the same time you understand why he did not do that after the fact, and why he ends up going there to New Orleans. And now the Saints will have Michael Thomas, Chris Olave, and Jarvis Landry as their top 3 receivers,
pretty
none
good.
of whom played a snap for them last year.
No, but it's pretty good. It's They have a lot that they can do with that group. Jameis in a big year throwing the ball for yards.
He should.
I don't know if they'll win a lot, but he'll throw for a lot. He'll throw to the other team too, but they ought to be able to stretch the ball down the field and move it all over the place. Yeah, I think he was the coolest Cleveland Brown in the time I've covered the team. Like,
No
just
doubt.
the coolest guy to be around. Like, when he would come in here, we would do. I mean, the first time I ever talked to him in person, you were off for some reason. I don't know if it was a travel date or if it was what it was, but I remember I was doing the show solo, and we were in the old Triangle studio with the Triangle desk, and he was sitting down there, and we did 20 minutes with him.
Easy.
And it was easy and effortless, and he just, when he walked into a room, he just brought joy with him. He just had that personality to him. And I was talking, this devastated Kingsley. This was the only damper on the weekend for him because he was harboring hope that he would return because he was his favorite player, and he would dress up every game in the full uniform, the full Jarvis uniform every game. So that was a little bit of a tough blow, as he was harboring some small hope that he would return and they'd be able to make it work. But I explained all of the things you said, that was, a dream to be able to play there, and I get it. But also, he was, when you think about the more popular players since in this run, you think of obviously Nick Chubb and Miles, and then Jarvis, those would be the guys that were at the top of it. They absolutely were, and you're never going to forget any of it. That was so fun. Baker's rookie year with Jarvis, and all of the things we did with him, throwing the ball, catching the ball, running the ball, all of that stuff. It was all so much fun, and I think he'll be remembered incredibly fondly here. I think he will be somebody who is, for the young kids, that maybe the way like Gibby's generation that grew up here viewed Slaughter or Metcalf, that those guys were both here 6 years. Jarvis was here 4, but I think that there will be a reverence for him for a very, very long time for young kids. I do.
I agree, and he just conducted himself exactly how you would want somebody to conduct themselves. He was a guy that just flat out embodied everything you wanted. He gave it his all. He was tough as nails. He was inspirational. He was a great teammate. He was a leader. He was a guy that went about his business and just, it's wild. You wished that things would have worked out differently for, when he and Odell were on the cover of SI together.
Yeah.
But I think we are all better as an organization. I think we're all better as fans. We're all better as you and I, getting to the guys who've gotten to interact with him and talk to him, for knowing Jarvis Landry, for having Jarvis Landry been a Cleveland Brown. Like, all-time, absolutely elite, one of my, he's on the Mount Rushmore for sure. You can already chisel him on there. We'll find out who, goes all around him on that for me, but he will always be on my Browns Mount Rushmore, always.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine.
Always.
Yeah, he's that type of guy, and I'm sure that he will be honored appropriately when he returns here this season, which gets us to this conversation. Gibby wants us to rank our top 5 games for the Browns coming into the season 5-1. Now, that is in the setup for this from ESPN.com, as they rank the 5 most in-demand games with the average ticket price on those. So number 5 was Denver at Seattle, Week 1, $450.
Wow.
Russell's highly anticipated return. They gave him everything.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear anything about a Russell Wilson revenge tour.
No.
They got
Just
rid of
return.
the Legion of Boom. They got rid
return.
of, but I mean, when we get closer to that, I'm not interested in that. That's not what it is at all. They gave him everything. He has to be traded. They traded him, and they traded him to the best spot. Bucks at Cowboys is number 4 with the average ticket price of $472. Cowboys game is always a tough ticket, and Tom returning there. Cowboys at Packers is number 3 at $488 a ticket. Dak and Aaron Rodgers, again, the Cowboys, always a tough ticket. Speaking of the Packers, here they are at number 2. Packers at Bucks, Rodgers, Brady, Week 3. The good thing about this one is if you buy this one, it's Week 3. There's a decent chance both will still be playing. Who knows what could be happen later in the year. But $535 the ticket on that. And the most expensive ticket is 49ers at Raiders, $603. I do not get this.
So the Week 17, there are a couple things, right? Number 1, Niners fans are going. They're playing, isn't that New Year's Day, New Year's Eve?
That is New Year's Day.
Oh, New Year's Day. So
you're going to go do New Year's Eve in Vegas.
It's a holiday.
And go to the game.
You're going on holidays with that.
No doubt. Yeah. I like that one. That's a fun one.
All right. I get that. That makes sense. So Gibby wants our top 5. How should we do this? Should we do what the 5 best games, or the 5 best that we would go to and buy a ticket?
5 that you're looking forward to the most for whatever reason.
Boom.
Number 5 for you. Go ahead, sir.
The return of Money Mitch. Week 6, Patriots at
Money
Browns.
Mitch is on the Pats? I didn't even realize that. I missed that Money Mitch was on the Pats.
Yeah.
That's
he
great.
He already calls Bill Belichick Big Bill.
Big Bill. That's right.
Oh, come on, Big Bill.
You do a pretty good money.
I love Money Mitch.
Yeah.
There's really only one spot maybe left on the Rushmore, to be honest with you. If there isn't even. Like right now, the Rushmore today would be Jarvis, Money Mitch, Cole, and the Hoff. Like that's a
tough nut to crack.
It's going to be hard to get into that quartet.
Yeah, I mean, the Hoff and Cole are the Lincoln and Washington, and then Jarvis is in there. I mean, yeah, that's it. Those are money.
No Bronco Bill.
Bronco Bill
predates
great,
me though.
But money. Bronco Bill was in consideration, which is an honor in and of itself. Yes, that's my number 5.
All right, I'm getting through this really quickly. All right, number 5 for me, at Miami, because this would be the one I would go to from a road trip standpoint. I'd go right down there. I'll PJ it.
Perfect. I'll tag along.
PJ it.
Maybe you're going to need permission. We have a charter, Nathan.
PJ, you're safe.
I'm rolling with you. All right, good. Right. Make that happen.
So,
let's go.
Yeah, that would be, if I were a Browns fan, that would be my number 1 road trip. I would go there in November and get out of the cold.
Popular destination.
Yeah,
for sure.
Right.
Can't beat the time of
year.
Not
the schedule makers couldn't have done you any bigger favors there. Number 4 for you.
I'm going to go home for the Chargers, Week 5. I think it's a great matchup. I'm excited about that game. Very excited.
I got Bucks here.
Okay.
Is number 4 for me.
I'll do that as number 4. That'll be number 3 for me. Bucks here.
Yeah, I just have fatigue of them.
Yeah, I'm still excited. Yeah. Last time
Brady, right?
Yeah.
We've done so many last times with him.
For me, it'll be like the first time I've ever called a Tom Brady game. That's pretty exciting.
Yes, that's true. But that would apply to all of it'd be the
for all of these people.
Last time, other than who do we play in
Minnesota?
Minnesota. Yeah, but everything else will be the
fresh.
First. Yeah, be all fresh. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Like when you're old and gray and you've got little grandkids bouncing on knee, and you can say, I called a Tom Brady game.
Called his last game at First Energy Stadium. Most
That's
likely.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
Number 3, you had that. I got Bengals on Halloween.
Okay.
I think this city will be on fire for that one.
Okay.
Number 2.
I'll go at the Bills. I
Same.
think that could be a big game and a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to not have to be in the elements at that one. I'm very excited about that. That stadium's not great.
No,
I mean, there's a reason they're building them.
Yeah, and that could be
new one.
That could be really brutal in November. And then number 1 for me is Chargers.
Okay, because you love that one. So number 1 for me,
exacting the revenge.
Number 1 for me is going to be Monday night Halloween here. I just feel like it's going to be absolute insanity.
Yeah, I think it's all in play.
I think it's going to be great.
I think it's absolutely all in play.
When do you think the last time people could have done this? And I think we're being legitimate about it. I mean, my Money Mitch one, my number 5 would be Money Mitch, New Orleans and New England combined. Money Mitch and Jarvis returns. Very excited to see both those guys. But when's the last time that it really wasn't even a consideration for either of us? And I won't
Pittsburgh.
speak for you. But yeah, the Steelers weren't even a consideration for one of the 5 games that I was looking forward to the most.
You'd have to go back to Bubby Brister, probably, right? Or Mark Malone. But even then, people here hated him so bad that they just wanted all the revenge in the world.
Sure. Like, is that a top 5 game for you still, Gibbe?
The Steelers game, is that a top 5 game next year for you, Gibbe?
Thursday night, I mean, I would put it ahead of the Patriots.
Money Mitch.
No, I don't have the Patriots very high up on my schedule.
Me neither. That was more just
for fun,
for
money.
I really think the Chargers are my number 1.
They're mine too.
I like that game.
I think that's just going to be a phenomenal game.
Yeah, it's a game. One of my buddies was saying, I want to come in for a game this year. What game should I come? I said Chargers.
And that potentially could be a gorgeous uniform game. If we do it right and they do it right.
We should be in the whites, and we should make them.
We should be in the all white, and they're in the powder blues.
We should make them, Mm-hmm.
That's how you do that.
Yeah,
that's how you sort it. By the way, Deshaun, a big fan of the all whites. That's clean.
Because it is clean.
It is clean.
It is.
It is kind of the.
It's a beaut.
Yeah. People were so thinking it was bad luck because we wore it. It's got nothing to do with it.
It's got nothing to do with
the
those
teams
all
weren't
whites.
good.
Different, and they're different.
World.
It's different.
Different
with
world.
the shadow box. It's
different
all
world.
very, very different.
Very different.
Our schedule's great. And listen, if Week 15 against the Ravens here is some type of primetime game, that's certainly a top 5 game.
Yeah,
there's no doubt.
All the division games they're all going to be pretty good.
I'm more excited. Bengals, Ravens, Steelers would be my division rankings.
I have the same.
Agreed.
I don't have any problem with that.
Thank you.
Elk and Elk Serious Lawyers, serious injuries. Call 1-800-ELK Ohio for a free case review. Elk and Elk's a proud partner of your Cleveland Browns. Coming up next, we'll go around the sports world. We got NBA and NHL, lots of Game 7, some absolute beatdowns. Golf second major is here. We get into all of that coming up next, and then Perry and Winfrey in about 15 minutes from now. Cleveland Browns Daily, 850 ESPN Cleveland. Your business operations collects all the data you need, but you're having a hard time bringing it together and seeing the full picture. Beau here for my friends at EOX Vantage, data scientists, also business ops experts. Your EOX Vantage team will help you build an automated system that brings your data sources together in real time and turns them into eye-opening dashboards so you can make smart, time-sensitive decisions. Staring at spreadsheets provide insight you needed to know last month. With EOX Vantage, you'll know exactly where your people stand on their activities and deliverables and gauge your financial performance. Easily, accurately track progress and your ROI. Check out how companies are making their business intelligence smarter by visiting EOXVantage.com for more. I don't understand how there wasn't an NBA game Saturday for starters.
Silly.
It's absolutely nonsense to play both those games.
There wasn't even an
Sunday.
NBA game on Sunday. Hey, now.
So, felt like Jason Tatum, top 5 player in the league now.
Dude,
like we know
I
that.
love Tatum.
His game is
You
outstanding.
know how much I love Tatum.
Love him. He's so much fun.
What about, and this is what I think is so great about sports. So I actually watched that whole game. I like the Celtics.
I do too.
I'm
I've
a
hated them
Tatum
my
guy.
whole life. I've hated the Celtics my whole
Sure.
life, but I really like watching them play.
And what I think is cool about it, number one, the atmosphere at the Garden was incredible.
Yep.
Number two, Grant Williams became a Boston legend.
That's right.
Forever. Like, he is a Boston legend forever because in a Game 7 elimination series game of the series, he has his career high, like, ever. Not just playoff career high. That was the best game of his career ever.
That's right.
What did he have scoring? 27?
I mean, it was. Yeah, is that what it ended up being?
Yeah, I think he made like 7 or 8 threes, I want to say. It was just a bonkers. Yeah. Grant Williams, here we go. I'm pulling up the box score right now. I had so much fun watching it. I actually was the biggest Boston fan, as you know, that we know, is the voice of the Cleveland Browns, Mr. Donovan.
That's right.
So I was talking to him. I said, Grant Williams becoming a Boston legend. He said they're going to put number 12 in the rafters. And that's what and he's not wrong. That's what was so cool about it. Yeah, he ended up with 27, makes 7 threes. I mean, who the heck is Grant Williams?
Kid out of Tennessee, making right, man.
Just unbelievable. Tatum was great again, as always. I mean, how about this? I always like the plus minuses.
Yeah.
They're plus 25 with Grant Williams. He had the highest plus minus of anybody in the game. The highest. And Giannis was good, but I felt like Giannis, you know what it felt like watching to me, honestly? It felt like watching old LeBron. It was like an old LeBron Cavs team where, like, Holiday was like Mo Williams, but maybe not even as good as Mo Williams was then. Brooke Lopez is a fine player, but it's like, and then that's it.
Well, no Middleton.
No Middleton's a huge loss for them, but I mean, it just didn't feel like a complete team.
No.
And Grayson Allen was terrible.
If you said you were a fan of plus minuses, can I give you Devin Booker's plus minus?
Oh, man. Luka clowned them. That was
minus 41 for Devin Booker, minus 39 in a single game for Chris Paul, minus 40 for Mikal Bridges. That's how that went. That
was a beating.
Was 57-27 at half. It was 92-40 at the end of the third quarter. 92-40.
Luka's one of my favorite guys in the league too.
Luka, who doesn't love?
How about him laughing after every shot that he was making? He's just laughing.
Just mocked him. Openly mocked them.
Openly.
What's on the Wikipedia page?
Oh yeah, somebody updated the Suns Wikipedia page and said the owner was Luka Doncic. Are your kids? Who do your kids like more, Luka or Tatum?
Bootsy likes the Celtics, but he has both a Luka and Tatum jersey.
Okay,
he has both. But he likes the Celtics a little bit. My oldest liked Booker because he's a Kentucky guy. He likes Kentucky guys.
Right.
And then Kingsley liked Durant and stuff. So we'll see. But it sets up for – it does feel like it is a complete changing of the guard. You have it does feel like this is the elimination, with the exception of the Warriors, of the 2010s players are now – the league has passed them by. If you think about LeBron, Durant, Westbrook, Harden – like that era of player, with the exception to Steph and Clay.
Where's LeBron going to compete? Because he wants to compete. It also puts into perspective him making 8 straight finals is incredible. What he did.
Real quick on Steph, if they can win it, so it's Warriors, Mavs, Celtics, Miami. And by the way, Miami is the least talked about glamorous franchise in sports. Like, that's a glamour city. You're not going to get a whole lot more glamorous than Miami, and nobody talks about them. Nothing.
Yep.
They were the second best team in the – nobody talks about them.
And look at how they've been run.
Expertly.
They've had the star power. They haven't.
No.
And they still win.
They win and win
Spoelstra,
and win and win.
Riley.
Consistency, right? So if Steph can pull this off, if the Warriors can win this championship, and they're in a – like, if you were to tell them all you got to do is a best-of-7 against Dallas and a best-of-7 against either Miami or Boston, I have a feeling they'd feel pretty good about that, right?
Yeah.
Not a healthy Nets team, not a healthy Sixers team, not a healthy Bucks.
I like that Celtics team.
I do too. I think the Celtics are great, but pretty good. If they do it, that'd be their 4th championship. It would be the first without, you win one without Durant. It would be the same key players, but then other role players around them. You would have to put them in you start to get into a dynastic situation where you talk about 4 titles. I think. You start to view them very, very differently. I think it makes the conversation around Steph different. Does he now become a top 10 player in NBA history? He's already one of the 5 most influential, but does he now jump into a top 5 best players if they could do it? Like, that's the type of legacy stuff that's on the line for Curry.
Oh, yeah.
If he could pull it off.
By the way, just so you know, my dad is convinced that my dad wanted Phoenix to win that series. He thinks that Dallas is going to whoop the Warriors. He's convinced.
I think it's going to be a really fun series.
Yeah,
you want to talk shooter's delight.
Yeah, and that was the Hello World Luka Doncic is what that was. For those who don't know, not that anybody in hoops didn't, but that he's probably him and Steph. Like, there are so many little kids that I saw playing travel. Like, they love those guys. There's 77s everywhere.
So the Mavericks went 3-1 in the regular season against the Warriors.
I wonder what the injury situation was.
122 to 113. Doncic had 41. 107, 101. Doncic had 34. That was February 27th and March 3rd.
So that could have been no Steph in at least one of those. Probably March would have been
January
no
5th. They win. This one probably was an injury game. 99 to 82, and then the one loss was the first time they played. And they got, blasted pretty good.
Yeah.
Can't find. But they lost.
You're not going to find a more gutless performance in Phoenix's. That was
What's
as
up with
gutless
that?
as could be.
What's up
I have
with
no
that?
idea. I've never seen anything like it. To lose by 50, to be down 52 at home. I mean, that doesn't even make sense. It makes no sense.
This is the NBA.
To get to your LeBron question, I think he's in a hell of a spot because
he's stuck.
Yeah, because I think they could trade him. They could trade him, and I think that's probably the best thing for the organization would be to trade him and try to get some younger assets, some young players, and try to build up. They don't have a draft pick till 2027, so they could trade him. He cannot leave there like this if he wants to live in L.A. the rest of his life because nobody in L.A. counts that title that they won, the bubble title. Laker fans don't. He wants to make movies. He wants to be beloved in L.A. That ain't happening. Not like this. Leaving it like this. He's all the blame's at him for what happened this year. Him and his management team, for the Carmelo and the Westbrook, all that stuff. It's all at his feet. So there's no. I don't know what the counter is. I'll tell you what this is though. This is largely, almost entirely, teams where guys were drafted there and developed there. Mm-hmm. The only real free agent, I'm trying to think, I don't want to overstep with this generalization, but the only one I can think of that was a free agent signing that's a key contributor is Jimmy Butler with Miami. Yeah. Everybody else was drafted. Doncic was drafted by Dallas. All the Warriors guys were drafted. Tatum and Brown drafted.
Yep.
So, and everybody else, Adebayo, Hero, all the other big players for Miami were all drafted, with the exception of Jimmy. So that's pretty good. Like, feel good if you're the Cavs. Like, you've drafted really well. Sign all of them. Keep all of them. Keep that core together. Keep JB.
Build it.
That's what you do. The second major begins on Thursday, PGA Championship in Tulsa. That's be interesting to see what the weather's like there. 1 year ago, Tulsa on top of the world. Phil Mickelson on top of the world. That's right. And now he's nowhere to be found.
And he withdrew over the weekend.
I saw that. Yeah, it was pretty steep off a cliff for Phil. Did you see Jack Nicklaus saying that Saudi tour offered him $100 million?
Offered Jack Nicklaus?
Jack Nicklaus.
To play golf?
No, to be the face, to be the Greg Norman. Yep. So he's made a lot of money.
Yeah.
Jack has, though.
Yeah.
So we'll see. This is where Tiger won a major, didn't he? Didn't Tiger win a U.S. Open here or a PGA
Southern
here,
Hills?
like Southern Hills, like 20 years ago?
Feels right.
And I saw him hitting the ball around.
Yeah, he's out there with the guys from the Foreplay Pod from Barstool.
Was he
dapping 'em
really?
up, hugging him up, Riggs and all those.
Those guys got to play with him?
They're walking with him. They're walking with him today, and he like gave them big hugs and like they were boys.
It's an amazing rise.
Amazing. Did you see? And I can't say, and I'll profess my ignorance on this, but did you see that at the game 7 in the Garden, they showed Portnoy and Hank and had Team Hank on the scoreboard?
Jeez.
On the scoreboard. Big Cat, did you see Big Cat's comment?
I did.
Big Cat, because if like people didn't know what was going on right there, they probably thought this guy was like had 2 weeks to live and was just going to go out in a blaze of glory.
Yeah.
And they were saying like Team Hank, like, all right, buddy. Unbelievable.
It really is.
By the way, Tiger Woods won the PGA Championship at Southern Hills 15 years ago this week.
It's a good job
There
out of
it
me.
is.
Very good job. All right. Perry and Winfrey coming up next. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Gambling without setting limits on how much you're going to wager or how long you'll play is like a football team going into a game without a game plan. It's probably going to end up in a loss. So always set limits before you bet. Get more tips like this at keepitfunohio.com. And now here's Perry and Winfrey, the super talented, super attitude on this guy from rookie minicamp. Let's have a listen.
You're down.
Man, it's been amazing just being out here and finally being able to know what team I'm on and not having to go to team and just finally knowing what organization I'm a part of and just being able to be a part of the organization. It's been great.
What kind of feedback have you gotten on your draft day press conference and how everything went viral?
Right.
What's that?
Yeah, the love has been crazy. Like immediately when I got off the plane, there were fans in there with helmets and stuff. I don't even know how they got in the airport. I've been signing a whole bunch of signatures. Everybody been showing love, so it's been definitely crazy since I did that.
Perry, and I know Miles reposted a clip of your draft day press conference right away when you saw that. Just what went through your mind, and have you talked to Miles?
That was mind blowing. Yeah, he texted me right after and just told me congratulations that he was ready to work, and it was just really mind blowing knowing that a 99 overall on Madden just posted me on his Instagram. Like that was cool. That was dope.
Feel like you guys are gonna get along and everything.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I'm hard working. He hard working, and we both got a common goal of winning a championship. So I feel like we're gonna work well together.
Have you slowed down at all after that? You were pacing like a lion there when you were talking.
I'm definitely a little calmer, more settled. Like I said before, knowing what team I'm on, finally just able to finally settle in and get to show an organization who I am as a person. So I'm definitely settled and calm more than I was that day.
So Isaiah called you guys the Cleveland Sooners. How nice is it to have a couple of teammates here in terms of the transition and everything else?
Man, that was dope. I give all the praise to the Lord, just being able to have great, because they could have sent me teammates that weren't so good. Like they sent me great teammates, people who are going to push me to do great things, and people who are going to hold me accountable all the time. So it's just a blessing to have those people around me and just learn together.
Isaiah said you and he had chemistry from the jump.
Right.
Do you feel the same way?
That's why it's so crazy that we're here together. Like our chemistry is almost unmatched. Like we just have a knack for playing with each other. We always know what each other's doing, and it's just easy to us. Our communication and everything is just 100%. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I played nose tackle most of the time at Oklahoma. I wouldn't say frustrating. At times I was getting a lot of double teams, but I feel like it made me more versatile. Now on this team, my position coach knows that I can play nose tackle as well as 3 technique and defensive end if they want me to.
Isaiah was saying that he thought you were going to get drafted earlier, and he thought he was going to get drafted earlier too. How much have you guys talked about that?
I mean, we really haven't talked about getting drafted earlier. We talked about the fact that all those teams pass on us and just remembering that and just keeping that in the back of our heads and just constantly going to work every day to make every team pay for passing on us and just bringing the championship to this organization.
What's he going to bring here?
Juice, energy, compassion. He's one of the best teammates I've ever had before in the locker room. He's one of those guys who's gonna not only hold you accountable, but he's gonna hold himself accountable on and off the field. And his work ethic is unmatched.
Now that you got here, what was the first impression walking in the building and getting to meet people, and then whatever meetings you've already been a part of? Just your overall first impressions coming in here and how.
Right away off the plane, I thought it looked better in person than I thought it did on the media. So that was one thing, and then. Obviously, coming into the facility, everything was beautiful, and then they're building a regen center in there, and then they got the new grass out here, so you can obviously tell that the owner has love for this team and has passion for this team. So I'm grateful to be a part of an organization that's going to put stuff back in for the players.
You didn't play nose tackle at the Senior Bowl, so was that the breakthrough for you to show scouts that you could rush the pass?
Yeah, I was definitely excited to go to the Senior Bowl and be allowed to play more so likely my position or the position that I'm mostly known for playing. So going to the Senior Bowl and finally being able to show people what it looks like when I play 3 technique and how dominant I can be, that was fun.
So why did you play nose tackle?
Right. So in our defense, we played more of like a 3-4. So we were more like a 3-down D lineman team, and we only had 2 ends, and I was the nose. So it really was no point of having, obviously they knew that I could play 3 technique, but that wasn't our scheme. So that's just not something we did.
In terms of you coming in with all the fire and the passion and the energy,
right.
When the veterans come in and Miles walks in, I mean, will you, just come forth with everything that you've got, or will you try to make sure that that's all cool with Miles?
I feel like at first I'll be more seen than heard, just letting my actions doing the talking and obviously following anything that Miles Gary does. He go to the bathroom, I go to the bathroom. He get a drink of water, I'm getting a drink of water. No, I'm just playing, but obviously just taking in the stuff that he's teaching me because he's obviously doing something great at this level, and that's something that I want to do. So just following in his footsteps, I won't more so likely be trying to dominate people right away and tell people what to do. I would more so likely be listening and soaking things in like a sponge.
I understand that you calmed down since we talked to you, but can you play with that energy for 17 games like you?
I play with that energy my whole life. Like, there's not one game that I go into not juiced up like that. Like, that's just who I am as a person, like, every single day. Like, yesterday I came here off no hours of sleep. I couldn't sleep the night before the plane ride, so I just stayed up all night, packed my clothes, sitting at the table waiting for my mom to wake up. She finally wakes up. We pray. I get on the plane, and I do all the stuff here. We get home at like 8, and I finally go to sleep. So yesterday I didn't go to sleep for a whole day, so I'm just juiced up. Like, that's just me.
So did Isaiah line up to the left of you or to the right of you?
More so, it didn't matter. Yeah, he was just, yeah.
Do you feel kind of responsible for the sack numbers he was able to put up?
Nah, I would give 100% credit to Isaiah Thomas, like, because I seen the work that he put in, and I know what it looked like in the past years of his career and then what he came into. So I know that it was 100% him and what he put forth.
You were obviously like super juiced up when you got drafted, but then when you saw Isaiah was coming here too, I guess we didn't have you on camera then. What was your reaction?
Y'all wouldn't have wanted to see me on camera. I was losing my mind. Truthfully, it was just crazy knowing that somebody that I have such a great bond with and such great chemistry with is going to be coming here with me and taking on this season with me. So it was just a blessing just to know that one of my right-hand mans will be right by me.
Were you surprised to see how the fans have reacted with you after that press conference with you on the phone, barking and everything?
Definitely. I didn't know that the fans were this wild or this passionate about the team, and just knowing that, it just makes me want to be juiced up even more, knowing that if I give that passionate effort to the team, it's going to be given right back to me.
Before getting drafted and before that day, what did you know about this franchise?
Right. Obviously, I knew a little bit because Baker Mayfield was on the team, but other than that, I never even did like much research about the Cleveland Browns because obviously it was in an organization that I was a part of or a fan of.
Perry, where is home? You told.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm from the west side of Chicago.
Okay, cool.
Yes, sir.
Did you go to the OU spring game this year?
Yes, sir.
Did you see Baker there?
Yeah, Baker was there. It was his Heisman Trophy reveal. Yeah, yeah.
Did you talk to him at all?
We talked for a little bit, but it was just like a hi, how you doing? Nice to meet you. Nothing crazy.
I'm trying to think, was that before the draft or after?
That was before the draft. Yes, sir. Yeah, no idea at all. Yeah.
You mentioned the airport. How many fans were there?
It was like a good 10 people. This one guy had like 15 small helmets. I don't even know how he got in the airport. It looked like he was just there for me. Like, it didn't look like he was going to, because after I signed the helmets, he left out the airport. So I'm trying to figure out how they let him in the airport. But it was a fun experience overall.
What's the funniest reaction you had to the viral video? Did somebody text you something really funny?
I wouldn't say somebody. It's just a lot of people sending me DMs just barking videos. Like, they're just sending voice messages just barking, not saying no words, just barking. But other than that, yeah.
What do you think the biggest adjustment's going to be for you?
Right. I feel like the biggest adjustment just be taking more care of my body and just knowing that now I'm going to be playing like 2 collegiate seasons in one. So just mainly focusing on my body and being able to produce day in and day out, knowing that we have more games to play.
Have you had a sleepless night like you had before you came here?
Yeah. The whole Isaiah could tell you this. The whole week of the Senior Bowl, I probably slept like an hour every night. I was just excited and ready to go. So. How
do you have that kind of energy when you're not getting sleep?
I'm blessed. I honestly couldn't tell you. No Red Bull, no coffee, nothing. It's just me. I have no clue what it is.
After your Senior Bowl experience, I mean, you should have went up in the draft.
Right, right.
Has your agent, the team, scouts, anyone told you what their hang-up was?
Not really. I really can't say what the things that they probably were said about me. I just know that I slipped in the draft, and at this point it is what it is because I'm a part of a great organization and I have great players next to me, and I'm in a defense where I could penetrate and disrupt things. So it was the best thing for me, to be honest with you.
Motivation?
Exactly. Big motivation, because ever since that day I haven't stopped working out or running or doing yoga or Pilates. Like, I've been going ham ever since my name got called, knowing that all these teams passed on me, knowing that 9 D linemen were picked before me. we'll see at the end of the day what it looks like.
What do you got 7 tattoo on your
Right. This is 97 actually. I wore 97 in high school and my junior college, and I got flames around it, basically symbolizing adversity. And every time I look down at my hands, basically just letting me know that this was adversity that I got through, and I could basically get through anything. So when the equipment manager called me, and he was like, "We only have one number available," I was like, "What number is it?" He said 97. I feel like it was destined, to be honest with you. Yeah.
Do you feel like you're coming from a very rabid fan base? Do you
Right.
feel like you landed in another rabid, no pun intended?
Right. Definitely, because the Sooner fans are crazy, but it's crazy because the Browns fans are crazier than the Sooner fans, and I didn't think it got much crazier than that.
And the whole dog thing just
Right.
fits with you, doesn't it?
I love it. I love it. I was walking, me and IT were going to get pizza yesterday, and this couple said, "Go Browns," and they just started barking. Like, I barked back. Like, it was just a fun experience being down here.
Now, to be clear, you've been barking for a while.
Yeah, I actually lost my voice for a little bit after the draft, but I got it back.
But I mean, even before the Browns picked you.
Oh yeah, I've been barking my whole life. Yeah, yeah.
You had that, I saw you
Right.
had a dog shirt on.
Yeah,
The draft, just like
it's crazy. Yeah, it's just coincidental. My mom said the same thing.
How do you feel about coming into a really young D-line,
Right.
D-tackle room?
Right.
I mean, you think there's opportunity to be immediate
Right.
starter?
I definitely feel like it's a blessing coming into a young D-tackle room, but knowing that there's veterans in the room. So I feel like we all have equal opportunity to come in and try to prove right away who the starter belongs to and who should be the starter. So I definitely feel like it's a blessing knowing that I have a chance to start this year.
A lot of destiny involved here. I guess you believe in it.
Definitely. I feel like everything happens for a reason, and all of our lives were already written. We just haven't got to that chapter in our lives.
You put a lot into, I remember at the Combine, you were commenting on, they gave you number 23.
Right.
And
Yeah, I put a lot of thought into stuff. There's signs all through in life. Yeah, definitely.
Hey, Perry, can you do me a favor? Figure and stuff like this.
Yeah.
Shoot the 9-7.
You're right.
Is it cool to, I mean, LeBron's your favorite guy.
Right.
And,
It's
is it cool to be here knowing the impact he's made here?
I was literally telling my mom that. Like, it's crazy that he was drafted to Cleveland. I got drafted to Cleveland. Like, LeBron's always been my favorite player growing up. And then just all the things leading up to it. Like, I'm with Clutch Sports Agency, obviously, and they have LeBron James. So, like, all these things leading up, and then I get drafted to the Browns. That was the icing on the cake.
Hey, Penny, what is your mom's name? Sorry.
My mother's name is Chantel. I've talked to him on the phone, but I haven't seen him in person. But obviously, I'm trying to bring a championship to Cleveland just like he did.
You had talked to him?
Yes, sir.
Is it since you've been drafted?
No, not since I've been drafted, just like over the times. Yeah.
What's the best advice he gave you or anything like that?
Just don't listen to the outside noise. Just try to be the best version of myself every single day, and just trying to be better than I was yesterday, and not so far like looking at the destination, but just enjoying the journey and falling in love with the grind, and then everything that I want will come into play if I just put my head down and work.
So was that conversation like after you signed with Clutch, maybe? Just
Yeah,
trying to figure it out?
after
Okay.
I signed, yeah.
And is your mom Chantel?
Shantel.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
You've told us about like all the how you've been.
Back in 20.
Right.
You ever gonna slow down?
Yeah, I slowed down a little bit. I slowed down actually. I just feel like my emotions were just so high knowing that I'm finally going to be on the NFL team. But I definitely have times where I'm even keel and relaxed. I do yoga, I do Pilates, I do meditation. I do a lot of things that keep me even keel. I know how to balance my emotions and use them when I need to.
You're up.
All right, good stuff from Perry in there. A lot to be excited about with him as a member of the Cleveland Browns. So much more to come. You're listening to Cleveland Browns
Tons.
Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Be sure to check out Browns Live Meets the Rookies, presented by Vivid Seats and hosted by Z. It's first Friday, May 18th, 7 o'clock, clevelandbrowns.com. Cleveland Browns mobile app on the Browns YouTube channel. Hear from the newest member of the Cleveland Browns roster with exclusive interviews. That's Browns Live Meet the Rookies, presented by Vivid Seats. Wednesday, May 18th, 7 o'clock.
Yeah, tweet me your questions. Use the hashtag Browns Live, and I'll ask them to the rookies. What do you want to know? Let's have some fun with this. We've heard a lot from these guys, so let's have some fun with it. Give me some good stuff.
I got the DVR set. I'm excited.
I know you
The
are.
next level is coming up next. We're back tomorrow. Cleveland Browns Daily, 8:50 ESPN Cleveland.
You guys are down. Great show.